What is legal custody versus physical custody? Physical custody is the easy one. It is where the children spend the majority of their time. Parents can have shared physical custody. Shared physical custody is what it sounds like. The child shares where they reside. Generally, that refers to equal time or close to equal time with each parent. One parent can have sole physical custody, where the children would be with them the majority of the time. Legal custody, on the other hand, deals with which parent makes the important decisions about a child's life. Medical decisions, educational decisions, religious decisions. Same as with physical custody, legal custody, parents can have shared, or one parent can have sole legal custody. Generally, especially in divorce cases, parents will have shared legal custody from the get-go. However, there are some factors which would make a judge give one parent sole legal over the other. How do courts determine custody arrangements? This is a difficult one because a lot of it depends on the specific judge, the court, the individual factors within a custody case. A lot of times parents will try to come up with these custody arrangements on their own. As much as possible, we attempt to get parents to agree on a custody schedule, parenting schedule that will work for them. When you leave it up to a judge, you have no idea what they're going to do. And it could be a parenting schedule that doesn't work for anybody. Generally, it's the judge's job when determining a custody arrangement to look out for what is in the best interest of the children. In doing so, they'll think about factors including where the child goes to school, the parent's work schedule, the children's social activities, where their friends live, the family that they may have around. So there's a lot that goes into it where it's not going to be set in stone just because you know you're going before a judge what they will do as far as custody. Legal custody, a judge will look at, can the parties communicate? Have they had difficulties in making decisions relating to the child? Do they argue about where the child's going to go to school? Do they argue about whether or not the children need particular medical procedures? Things like that. That's the biggest when it comes to legal custody and what a judge will do. As much as possible, we're seeing these days that judges want parents to be equally involved in their children's life, both in terms of physical as well as legal custody. But the underlying premise of how a judge makes their decision, or what it's supposed to be based on, is the best interest of the children. What is the difference between joint custody and sole custody, and what is better? Joint custody is a custody situation where both parents are equally or close to equally involved with the children. So joint physical custody, the children spend close to equal amounts of time with the parents. It's shared. They go back and forth between the homes. Same with joint legal custody. Both parents are involved in the legal custody decisions. They have to cooperate, they have to communicate together, and they make those decisions jointly. Sole custody, on the other hand, is when the primary responsibility is on one parent. Sole physical custody, you'll see one parent having the majority of the parenting time with the child, and the child may go see the other parent a couple days a week, maybe every other weekend, limited time during the week, or not at all in some situations. Sole legal custody, when one parent has sole legal custody, they get to make all of the major life decisions for that child on their own. There may be some times where they have to communicate with the other party, but generally they have the final decision in what is happening when they have sole legal custody. Which custody situation is better is a tough question to answer because it depends on your personal situation and circumstances. The courts generally prefer that parents share both physical and legal custody. They feel it's in the best interest of the children to have both parents significantly involved in the child's life. That's not always the best situation for the child and for some families, but which one is better ultimately comes down to your specific family situation and the child's specific needs. A lot of clients will ask me how child support plays a role in their custody case. Child support is financial support from one parent to the other parent, specifically to help them take care of the child and the child's financial needs. How child support plays into your case is different for every case. Massachusetts has the child support guidelines, which is a specific formula that allows the court's parties, attorneys, to plug in a bunch of information, including incomes of both parents, what the custody situation is, whether it is shared parenting or one party having primary custody or shared custody, different allowable expenses, including the health insurance that may be paid to cover the parties and the children, dental insurance, childcare costs. You put all this information in, and it gives you what Massachusetts says is the appropriate child support amount based upon all of those factors. Essentially, child support is a calculation based upon incomes and expenses of the parties. It has no impact on custody arrangement, physical custody, legal custody. However, the child support amount itself, the calculation will change depending on the physical custody situation, not legal, but if one party has more custody or has physical custody of the children, the paying party will end up paying a higher amount than if the parties had shared custody. So if you have any questions about child custody in Massachusetts, please call us. We're here to help. We're happy to help you.